Welcome to the Change of Pace podcast, where we're following along the creation of Canada's first professional track and field league. With me throughout the series, we have the founder and creator, Quinn Lyness. He's literally created this by himself, so nobody knows it better than him.
Welcome to the Canadian Track and Field League's first ever entry draft. Hey!
We'll cover everything from how the CTFL got started, give you updates throughout the season, and keep you updated on how the CTFL plans to change the pace of track and field. I'm your host, Samar La Vaughn. Let's get into this podcast series. What's up, Quinn? How you doing today, man?
Good. How you doing, Samar?
Feeling great, man. Still training, so I'm a little tired from training, but, I'm loving it.
Nice.
But before we get started, I do want to take a second to say congrats on everything you've created. The championship was huge. I'm nowhere near Canada, and I felt the energy and, seeing all of the reels, the videos, the highlights, everything. Like it's been amazing watching what you've created. As a fan of track and field, as an athlete, I can see the opportunities that you've created for other athletes. That's major. So I want to say congratulations. I know for a fact the track and field world appreciates what you're doing. It's huge. Major. But speaking about the championship, how did that go? Like, tell me the whole story. I want to know about it all. How did the championship go? Tell me from the start to the end.
Yeah, so this is the first one that I myself kind of helped run. So this was normally I partnered with local clubs to kind of give them a boost in terms of athlete quality and stuff like that. But this one was the first one that we actually ran with the CTFL and the inaugural Lions together.
The first official CTFL
ran
meet.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wait a second. Hold on. We're not gonna fly by that like you didn't just say what you said. That's major. That's huge. Like now you're actually creating your own meet.
Yeah. I think we'll stick with the same model next year and stuff, and partner with people for prelims to help them boost stuff, and then for the championship we'll kind of run it on our own. Next year it'll be on the weekend for sure. We already have a date set, or at least an idea set around. So it's like early July probably next year. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like my day was so hectic. Like the day of, just trying to get everything ready, like all the bibs, all the singlets, everyone has to get their stuff. And then early in the morning, so we have like the meter by meter series that's gonna be coming out. So actually the videographer, his girlfriend got COVID on the day of the meet. And so I had to drive like half an hour on the day of meet, was not expected to do this. Had to drive like half an hour to go get like, all the video equipment and stuff, drive downtown, get like the lights and stuff like that, bring it to the track. The co-meet organizer, he was angry obviously because I was super late. Athletes were already showing up and stuff, like they were well in advance and stuff, but like it was a hectic day to say the least. Man. And then like my parents and stuff, this is the first time they came to the CTFL meet, so like they were trying to like catch me because they were helping me out a little bit, but yeah, it was really funny because everybody wanted to talk to me, and like apparently some guy said these like somebody asked him like, where's Quinn? He's like, well, I can tell you where Quinn is right now, but I guarantee you that like once you get there, he's gone. So I was running. I was running around.
Man on the move.
Yeah, exactly. So it was good being busy. And then I had to record all the stuff. So again, I don't have the steadiest of hands. So next year we're gonna get better kind of tripods so we can swivel a little bit easier and be less shaky.
And the footage was amazing.
Thank you.
Like even having the opportunity to watch more track and field, because we don't really get to see much of it unless it's behind a paywall. Yeah. And I mean that's cool. I respect the business and all that. That's dope. But just having the opportunity to watch more track and field as a fan, it was dope. And the footage was great. Was great.
Thank you. Yeah. I keep on thinking like next year's bigger and better. So like yeah, but thanks for the compliment.
I hear you. Overall, I gotta bring. I know that you're focused on what's to come next year, and I'm excited for some things as well. I caught some of the things that you've been posting about, so I got some questions about that as well. But I gotta let you know what you created is it's literally impacted so many lives already, So, continue to look forward to what's to come. But yeah, you gotta realize the beauty of what you've created so far.
Thanks.
Um, but so then,
I guess back
what
to the
was your
championship. Yeah.
yeah? Let's get back to the championship. First event, who won? Let's walk me through the events, and then I know one team was already kind of ahead leading into the championship, so I
Yeah.
want to kind of get a quick your perspective on how that was going, and then what happened.
Yeah, so coming into the championships, the Huskies were ahead by about I think like 1.5K IAAF points. So if you don't know, CTFL operates on IAAF points. Like every single performance gets a certain amount of points, right? So they were ahead by like 1.5K to the Bears. And the first event was the 400-meter hurdles. So that's my event. That was what we started off with. That was the only event that hosted that had an Olympian actually in it. And so it was awesome because we had it was the fastest 400-meter hurdle race in the country this year. So his name's Rocksroy
Wait,
Cato.
wait, 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 wait. Say that again. It was
So
the fastest.
fastest race on Canadian soil throughout like the entire year for the four hurdles.
So,
It was awesome.
so you're telling me the CTFL hosted the
Yeah.
fastest race on Canadian soil this year?
Yeah.
Man, that's major.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and
Oh,
it was awesome. I think like not only was it the fastest, like it was honestly probably the best race. Like we had nationals and stuff, but I think that this 400-meter hurdle race was eclipsed the 400-meter hurdles at like the national championship. Like it was amazing. We had so many guys out that were
wait.
incredibly
So
fast.
before we go on, how did that make you feel? How did watching that? Did you know immediately that it was the fastest race?
No, no, no. I was like, I was, you know, I knew he's an Olympian, so like he produces fast times, but
Right.
like, you know, I didn't think it was gonna be like the fastest time. I think we actually already had that kind of record earlier on in the prelim, but like this is the first time anyone in Canadian like on Canadian soil went below 51
Yeah.
for the four hurdles. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, and then
So how did that make you feel before
it
we
felt
go on?
awesome. Yeah, it felt so awesome. Just you know, seeing like everyone super excited and stuff. Like it was first of all, it was just an amazing race. Like there was so Rocksroy came first. He was at first by about like 8 meters. And then Saj Al Haddad and then Joshua Adhamar, who were fighting for the silver position. Like Rocksroy had won it already. Like if as long as he didn't trip, he was fine. But like Saj and Joshua were duking it out all season long for second place. And Joshua just gets Saj at the line, like dips him at the line.
Ooh,
Saj like threw himself across the line too, like fell and everything. So it
committed.
was yeah, to start it off,
Ooh.
that was like the best race to start it off. That was so
And
cool.
this is to start it off.
Yeah. Yeah. So like,
And
you know, if people weren't in their seats already, like we had a fan attendance of probably about 300 people. So it was a little rainy. So we'll probably have a lot more next season, but it was
wait,
good.
it was raining.
So it was like kind of like drizzling here and there, and it was supposed to thunderstorm. So I don't think there's a little bit of less people that I thought might be possibly in attendance. Like sick tickets were sold, but some people just didn't come because it was supposed to thunderstorm. But
All
thankfully,
right,
it held off.
but
Um,
you had 300 people in attendance
yeah,
and had the fastest race
yeah,
on Canadian soil
yeah,
in the rain.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Like these like that's
yeah, it was massive. Yeah, and then it was pretty cool. So and then I think we kind of move on to like the women's hurdle race was pretty sick. Had a pretty fast time there. Had a girl set like she kept on hitting like 103 or something like that every single race. So she broke that. I think she went into like 101. So that was a pretty big deal for her.
was that
Um,
personal best or just a season's best?
that was a personal best for her. Oh, there were so many personal bests. I'll kind of like go through the highlights, and then like
She,
later on we had the men's 1500. That was cool, like because we had a hometown guy who set his PB in the 1500 by like a solid 2 seconds. He broke like I think like three, it was like 3:48 or something like that. So like everybody, he didn't win. Like I think he came like fourth, but like
That,
everybody was on
that's
their feet
crazy.
cheering, and it was awesome. Like the it was so loud. It was like for 300 people, it was loud, to say the least. And you can hear it while kind of watching the video. So that was the men's 1500. That was
Yeah,
pretty
and
cool.
you have to recognize when athletes run their personal best because although you might not win, you know, there's in the lane. Our tracks are 9 lanes, so there's one person that wins basically, and 8 other people lose.
Yeah,
But you might still run your best, and that's progress. That's
yeah,
something good. Like when Usain Bolt set the record, he ran his personal best, but Johan Blake was second, and he ran his personal best, and he also beat the previous record. So if we were to
yeah,
just take Usain Bolt out, I mean, we can't take him out, but hypothetically, if you could just remove him for the race and everybody ran the same, Johan Blake has the world record and a personal best, so like
yeah.
that's still major for that athlete looking at it because it's not just one athlete. There is one athlete that wins, but as a whole, you've created an opportunity for multiple athletes, and several athletes have now ran their personal best. So that's major.
Yeah,
Huge.
yeah, it was pretty cool. And then like additionally, like we had like that was really cool because it was a small field for the 1500. Like there's only like 7 guys, so like they had to stick together for like a good chunk of it. So we had Alec Purnell, who was kind of a rising star in Canadian track, and he was leading the way. But like guys were holding with him, and that's why there was like so many PBs dropping. Um,
Dang.
and then like moving on, like we had like the 800 meter, both that race was also awesome. So like Peterson, so he won that one. But the women's race was intense because we had two twins. So there was 3 rookies that were on the same collegiate team. So they're at Western, and they were 1, 2, 3 coming into the championship. So it was Haley Nielsen who did really well. They got like U Sport medals and stuff, which is our like NCAA's, and then Chloe Coots and Sophie Coots. And so one of the Coots twins, so Chloe Coots, she got sick like the day of. So she actually came down to Ottawa and then got sick. And then they're twins. So they were 2 and 3. So Chloe couldn't compete. But that meant that Sophie, who she was actually just left off the list for the U20 Worlds team. So both Haley and her sister Chloe are going to Worlds, and she was left off the list. So that was an intense race because like Sophie was coming out hard, and she actually beat Haley, which was I think it was the first time all season that she had beaten her. It was amazing, like because I knew obviously going in, like I think probably the camera was like all screwed up because like I was watching it and I was like yelling because like this is cool. I know the story, like I know what's happening
Right.
right now. So like she beat her, and like it was amazing. It wasn't enough to clinch the gold, unfortunately, because we take the season's points, but like she definitely helped the Bears. And actually that was like the changing moment. That was when the Bears actually overtook the Huskies. So and they're both on the same team,
Ooh.
right? So like
Right.
so look, Haley's on the Huskies and Chloe and sorry and Haley sorry Haley's on the Huskies and Sophie was on the Bears. So the Bears actually overtook the Huskies at that
Uh,
moment where like the underdog beat the.
ooh.
So like that was huge for the Bears team, and then the Bears just
Man,
went on a streak. Um,
dang.
so that was intense. And then we had like the 100 meters, which was probably like the other kind of like highlight on the track at least. And that was pretty cool because like we had 2 huge celebrations, like Joshua Lunda and Katie Manor, who both won the women's and the men's 100 meter. That was pretty sick. Like they had like Joshua like spread his arms out like an eagle kind of thing, like as he crossed the finish line, like huge celebration. Katie's like bumping
Yeah.
her fist as she's finishing, and like all this kind of stuff. So it was pretty sick, and it pretty like there was a couple like really special moments like within those races. So yeah, and then
What
Shotgun
what was
won.
your
Great.
what was your favorite moment from the day?
Honestly, there was so many. I guess actually at the end,
Give me top three. Top
well,
three.
like races, I think it was definitely like the 100 meter and the 400 meter hurdles.
Wait. It could be races or it could be something that happened, something
Yeah,
that
yeah. And
yeah.
my other big one, we took a really big kind of, not, it wasn't the entire CTFL, But there was like a lot of people who like stayed afterwards, and we did a huge group shot.
That
Um,
was dope. That
yeah,
was dope.
so like that was probably the highlight because like everybody was so happy and excited and they were like talking about like next year and like Quinn, you need to like do like we need to like you need to make it bigger, like we need to work on this because like and everybody's pitching in and like giving ideas and all this kind of stuff and like celebrating. And then after that night I went out drinking with a lot of the athletes. So like I don't drink very
Hey,
much. So
celebrate. You got to celebrate life's wins. It's a
yeah,
victory for everybody to have been a part of the league. And some ran personal best, it's season's best,
yeah.
some won championship titles, so that's major.
Yeah.
Did you have any MVPs from the meets?
Like we actually have like an MVP, like we had MVPs for the season. So we had four MVP candidates per gender, so per sex, and it was so Michael Peterson for the 800 meters on the Arctics, Michael Roth 400 meters Arctics, Alec Purnell was the 1500-meter winner for the Huskies, and Rockstar Cato, the Olympian, was he was on the Bears. So that was those were the four male candidates, and Michael Roth ended up winning. I think it was also recency bias because he actually competed at we have the Canada Summer Games here, and
Oh,
he dominated. Like he like got
yeah.
gold medals like, across the board. You know what I mean? So he was pretty good. And so he won. There was and then on the women's side there was so Caitlin Brooks who ended up winning it, as well as Ashley McGuire who does the 1500-meter. She was on the Spitfire. She was the lone Spitfire candidate for the MVP conversation, and then Helena Jovic who won the 4 hurdles. And then upset Alex Telford, who was the first overall draft pick. I think Helena was like 12th overall, so it wasn't like a huge difference, but still pretty
uh,
big.
uh
I
Talk to Alex. I was
know.
rooting for Alex.
Yeah, I know. I know. I think there were a lot of people. She actually had an injury, so she pulled up in like
Yeah.
she couldn't go over the first hurdle. So that was unfortunate, but she still came third because like she was so dominant in the season that even taking away a race, she still finished third.
So
Where like
finished.
other women were running all 4 races and still couldn't beat her time, like her points. So that
Right.
was impressive. Um, yeah, and then yeah, it was pretty cool. And then I'm forgetting the fourth candidate. The Haley Nielsen. So the woman who ended up winning, she did get beaten in the championship, but she did overall win because she produced some pretty fast times throughout the season. So that was pretty cool. And Caitlin Brooks won that, and there was like it was amazing. There was like 8,000 votes in total. Like that's a lot of people voting.
Yeah, a lot of people watching. That's a lot of people participating. But so we got a lot of people watching. We got some championship titles, championship wins. We got some MVPs. What's next? I saw some trades happening. Like I
Yeah,
didn't even first that took me by shock because I didn't even know that there was room
for
for
trade.
trades. I'm just thinking like, oh shoot, this team win. They're
We're
gonna
gonna
be
run
able
it
to come
back.
back and dominate and dominate. And I don't know. It's from what it seemed like everybody else thought that, like the other audience thought that too. And
Yeah.
so, some people were excited about it. Some people probably didn't like it too much. What's going on with the trades? How did you even think about trades first off? And
Yeah.
why
So
why did you think about trades?
Yeah, so like before the season actually started, so I told the GMs that there would be a trade window. So like the GMs all knew about it. So like the GMs, they're fans that paid for like spots. They're not like really expensive, but there's 10 spots on a team for GMs. So you get to dictate basically like who's drafted. And later on in the season, I told them like we're gonna have a trade window. It's gonna be a month. You can make like you can propose 3 trades each, and then like you can see if they go through. So far we've had a lot of trade offers, but the way it works is that like you have to have set. So first, so if I'm a GM, I have to propose a trade. It first has to
Okay.
go to the rest of like my GMs, like my team's GMs. So say I'm on like the Arctics, I propose a trade for a Huskies player. First, it has to be okayed by 70% of all voting GMs on my team. And then, so if you don't vote, whatever, you're screwed. You lost the opportunity. But and then from there it goes to the other team. So if I on the Arctics, I traded for a Huskies player. So the Huskies, if they make the trade, they have to have a 70% approval rating on their team, and the trade goes through. So
That
far it's only happened once.
because I saw that and I was like, that's interesting. Why did he make it that everybody has to approve as opposed to just one and like, hey, I want to get rid of this player, or I'm more interested in just having that player and bringing them over. Why
Yeah.
did you make it that, multi like everybody has to, basically vote and decide, yes, we want to make this trade?
Well, for me, like CTFL is like also kind of a democracy. Like, yes, like I run it, but I don't actually run any of the teams. So that's all the GMs. But even like
Right.
when I'm asking when I have like big decisions and stuff, I actually put it to a vote with all the CTFL fans. So like if you're following, you can actually vote on how the CTFL is going to be structured. And I try and make that like as much as possible, I try and do that. Like obviously there's some decisions I have to make very quickly and do it solo. But like for next season, I'm gonna be putting out like what events we want, like that kind of stuff. But like that also was how the team should operate. So, you can't just make a trade just because like, you have other people that are on your like board, your GM
Right.
board. So like they have to approve it too, or else like, hey, like I was planning on making this trade, but now it's kind of useless. You know what I mean? Because we got this guy now on our team. So you know what I mean? So it's important for them to kind of like make the trade. And I give them enough. Like, they have 5 days to like decide. Like they have 5 days to like, research and like all that kind of stuff if they want to do it, or they can just say blatantly no. Like that happened. Like the Bears GMs, they've proposed a few trades, but they're also the champions. So they're none of their trades have gone through. Like none of them. They've proposed a bunch, but none of them have gone through so far because nobody wants to trade away their players. So it's always like 60% approval rating amongst the Bears. So like a lot of people are on the fence and saying no. Uh,
Dang.
so yeah, but the one trade that went through was Christina Vincic for Siobhan Roxborough, and that was the Huskies traded Christina for Siobhan to the Spitfires. Like, so that was pretty cool because Christina's only 17 years old. So the Huskies traded for a 23-year-old who's Siobhan, and she's pretty fast. She's one of the fastest in the country. But so they're getting better for this year.
Wait, wait, so she's 17. Is she the youngest athlete in the league?
I think she's one of. I think there's a couple of people who are grade 11 this year competing, and honestly, I think
She's
there might be a grade
wait,
10 next
wait,
year.
wait. She's in grade 11,
Yeah,
11th grade
yeah, and
in the CTFL.
yeah,
That's major. So not only have you created opportunities for pros and the elites and the people that we already know of and watch, but also somebody in grade.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah, and that's a
and
big
so
point.
everybody has the opportunity to compete in the league, and you're not even interfering with her
No,
grade school like career.
no,
Like,
try not to the best as we
dang,
possibly can.
that's major. That's
Yeah.
major.
Yeah, it's
That's major.
pretty cool. Like
Wow.
one of the big things for me was like breaking down the barriers between like Olympians and those who are like elite and also even like high schoolers. Like they're
Right.
all in group chats. Like I know some athletes that like reach out to like their Olympic teammates. Like normally they would never be able to do that, right? Like no one would respond
Dang,
to.
so there's even mentorship going
Yeah,
on with the teams. That's major,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
That's I don't know if you
Oh no, it's well, I well realize that that was a big thing for me. Like we can't be lining up to Andre DeGrasse and being all nervous, right? Like you gotta be a little nervous, but like it's if they're put on a pedestal, then like yes, it's something to strive for and achieve for, but you're not gonna learn anything because you can't communicate with them because they're in like a whole other league. But quite literally, they're in the same league now. So
they're
like,
in the same
you know what I
league
mean?
now. Yo, that's dope. Okay. So we had a trade go through.
Yeah.
Are there any other changes that you're making to the league for next season?
Yeah, there's quite a few. Like I've learned a lot. Like obviously there's a lot of injuries this year, more than I expected. Like I was well aware there's gonna be injuries, but didn't think it's
Biggest
gonna be this much.
what was the biggest lesson? Biggest
Right.
lesson that you learned?
Biggest lesson is athletes will get injured. Um, athletes will get
And
injured, and you have to be able to like create a system that like doesn't put any pressure on them for being injured, and also like also enables you to also kind of continue on operating as a league. So that's a big thing. So for
in the
me,
day,
the solution for that that one's going to be I'm adding 4 more positions per event. So now instead of 8 athletes per event, there's going to be 12.
why is it only 8?
Well, currently there was only 8 this year, and that was kind of like the total roster spots. So like there were some athletes that were in the prospect pool but didn't actually get drafted because they
Oh
weren't
wait, yeah,
on
because
base.
your lanes are eight.
Yeah,
You only have 8 lanes. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm used to the 9 lane
Yeah, that's
track. Yeah, so
yeah.
that's
Most tracks in Canada are 8 lanes. Like we don't have any 9 lane tracks, at least not many that I know of.
wow. I can't tell you how many races that I've seen somebody win from lane 9. I've won in the 200 from lane 9. I just had the mindset. I don't see nobody, and I don't want to see nobody. So I'm gonna keep it that way,
Yeah,
But there's only Wade Van Niekerk won in lane.
yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't know that about the tracks.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a big thing for us is like, so we had eight athletes because it was easiest. Like there's 8 lanes. So therefore just keep it as simple.
You're
But
right.
next year we're adding 12. So I'm kind of creating like almost like a playoff system where you're gonna have like your free like your free events. So like athletes go and compete where they want in the world. And then they have their prelim time and they go to the championship. But instead this year, so we did that kind of this year, and then next year for 2023, we're gonna have it so you're gonna have your free marks, and then you're gonna be able to have your prelim time, but only the top 8 make it to the championship.
Why
So
did why did you make that change?
so that's 2 reasons. One, that creates like a lot more excitement, and also like now it's a goal to make the CTFL championships. Now you're already competing against some of the best in the country, so now you have to kind of prove to yourself, and you gotta make. So if you're got somebody who's like 7th or 8th or something like that, for the CTFL it was like okay, big whoop, like I'm in the final because I'm already automatically in the final, right? Like I'm on a team, therefore I'm on a final. But now
Okay.
like there's like levels to it. So you got
Sure. Yeah.
like now you have like
Level to this.
CTFL, yeah, you got like CTFL medalists, you got CTFL finalists, you have like, and
Finalists.
then you have like
Ooh.
the CTFL, you made the CTFL.
So I just realized the levels that we talking about here. I didn't even know the levels to this.
Yeah,
Um, like they do NCAA finalists. So you now have CTFL finalists,
yeah,
major.
yeah,
Because again, currently over here we getting that and you go nowhere. So now you can make the league,
yeah,
be on the team, make the finals,
yeah,
win the championship. Like you now have a championship. That is, man,
yeah,
I'm loving it. I'm
yeah.
loving it.
And
It's been dope watching.
the big thing is also like for injuries now, if an athlete who is like seeded 7th is injured, that means like the ninth person is going to replace them.
But
So like yeah, and the other another really cool thing is that like now like a team can have 3 athletes per event. So that means like you might not have a team that has any athletes in a single event at the championship. Like you could have a pure lockout. You could have like 3 Huskies, 3 Arctics, 2 Bears, no Spitfires. Do you know what I mean? And then that's
I didn't
added
even
points.
I didn't even
So
do the math on that.
yeah,
That means
so
you can block out a
a whole
that's
team
that's gonna be crazy.
for the points. Like the point because then those athletes that
Whoa.
don't go to the championship don't get those points
Don't
for their team.
That's gonna shift a lot of things next season. So not only are there trades,
Yeah. You're
well,
looking for
one
dominance.
yeah, but now you're creating more opportunities for athletes. And wow,
Oh, that's gonna
there's
be
a
cool.
possibility, yeah, there's a possibility for a lockout. So like in I can see that literally happening, for example, some of the distance events, right?
Yeah.
Like you get boxed out, like your team is literally out.
Yeah.
That's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, it's big.
Woo.
Like the Bears, I know a couple of the Bears GMs have contacted me because they're trying to get a solid 400-meter hurdle group because they're going to be drafting probably the 400-meter hurdlers pretty high this year because they went 1 and 2 for the men's 4 hurdles.
Oh,
So they're
you
trying
see
like
the
their goal is
CFL,
literally to go straight sweep. They want gold medal, silver medal, bronze medal, and like
the
that means that there's going to be
CTFL
some team that might not get it.
gonna be wow. So that's gonna shift. So I'm just comprehending all of the like pieces that are gonna like shift the league. We
Yeah,
got a drive.
yeah.
We got
trades and
trades. We got the number of athletes competing in each event is changing. Wow. Yeah, I'm just thinking like all season I was wondering like, wow, okay, so if a team, builds a solid roster, they win the championship, are they going to come back and do it again? But now so many pieces are changing so that it's basically a level field, and now every event is important.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's
And
the importance
if
of
you
having
think,
a
yeah,
team now.
yeah, exactly. Like if you think about it too, like it's gonna be amazing to see what teams value because like you could have a very solid 400-meter hurdle grouping, but if you got locked out of a single event, that means you're losing a lot of points. You know what I mean? Like you're losing a lot of
Oh,
points. So is it going to be like our team's going to be front loading on certain events and then just letting other ones hang out to dry, and they're
yeah.
going to go out with that strategy, or are you trying to get all like two or three basically of your athletes into every single one of the events so you get points at the championship?
Man, because I know, like college coaches play it differently. Some college coaches want to load up they want somebody in every event,
Yeah.
so that they can coach you through and you place and they get points that way. They want multiple people in all events. And then I know some coaches or some teams that are like all sprint breaks and they win
Hmm.
all the sprints and
Yeah,
the jumps and the throws. Then I know
exactly.
some that are distance and then they win, the jumps, or they'll win the jumps, the throws. And then
Hmm.
like they're locked out of specific events. Like you'll never see a certain school in a certain event. They're just never. They don't even recruit those type of athletes. I don't even know if I ever seen them. But
Yeah.
so now somebody, these teams have the possibility to try to like, put all their eggs in one basket and see how that'll help them. Whether they want to do that and lock another team out, but then they're possibly getting locked out of an event. So it's some strategy that's gonna have to take place there. That's dope. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Aside from the changes, are, are there any other new things happening to the league? Are there any other things that like plans that you have going? Let me in on. Give me the inside scoop.
Yeah, I think so. We're probably gonna add two or three events to the schedule. I think the 5K is guaranteed, and we'll keep the rest kind of hush hush until a little later on in the year, and then we'll announce kind of like where we're going with it. So the 5K will be an event next year.
Oh,
Super excited to have that. I think a lot of athletes are excited, and as well as like sponsors are like biting at the bit to
yeah,
try and get the 5K.
that could
Um,
be their main event. So
yeah,
maybe this year they didn't compete to the best of their potential because that's
they're
their
not
main.
a 5K. Exactly.
Yeah, they're
So
not, they're not yet. So
yeah,
now they have the possibility to actually compete in their main focus event. So
yeah,
that's going to shift a lot of things.
yeah. And then I guess like off the kind of league and like what we're trying to do is like, well, one we're doing like a clothing drop and like here I'm actually wearing one of the sweaters like
Yeah,
this one like there you
man,
go like that's the Olympic rings as balloons like it's a pretty sick sweater. I actually love it.
what's
It's so
the
soft.
what's the idea behind that? What's the balloons? Why did you make the rings balloons?
Well, this is it's just like something fun, streetwear, like something kind of trendy. Like it's just kind of cool stuff. Like we actually partner with we are Track Joy, and they're the ones that develop like this. This is actually their design. So like they just wanted to like give back to the community, and like they thought the
No.
CTFL is the best way to do it. So like we're partnering with them.
Oh,
So it's pretty cool. And then other things is like the meter by meter series. So actually tomorrow I'm going over and reviewing all the footage with our video editor. And we're going to be kind of piecing together like two kind of episodes for the meter by meter series, showcasing all the athletes, giving you guys insights into like what they're thinking throughout the race. Like we're doing like for the 400-meter hurdles, we're going to be doing like hurdle by hurdle. Like
dope.
what are you
Yeah,
thinking here? And like you can fully understand what we're like what athletes are going through at that time.
taking us through the
So
race. Love that.
yes, super excited for that. And then, you know, for me, it's just like getting sponsors. Like this year, we operated on a shoestring budget and we killed it. So like next year, it's going to be about how do we grow this budget? How we bring more people onto the team. That's a big thing for me is how do I take the pressure off of myself and then also kind of like distribute it so we can kind of build stronger. Because if I'm dealing with the athletes all the time, that means I can't be building it off. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
You're
that's
working.
a big thing for me.
on the company.
Yeah, exactly. And then another big thing we just released was a Canadian track and field network. And that's already got like 700 followers. So that's done pretty well. And that's where like you see like trade analysis and like breaking news and like stuff that like not necessarily like I'm writing about because I don't even manage it. So that's somebody else that's doing it and managing it all. So that's gonna be pretty sick to kind of like they're kind of like exclusively CTFL news, which is awesome because that's what we need. Like we need somebody to give you guys the news constantly, to tell you, hey, like this person's injured. How's that going to affect like the Bears?
Right.
How's it going to
Keep
shake
us
up in the championship? They just lost their
keep us
star player.
updated on what's going
Yeah,
on. Yeah,
yeah,
that's major.
yeah. So those are the big things that we're kind of working on right now and trying to get like a deal with our apparel provider and stuff. And yeah,
Gotcha. You mentioned more sponsorships, so more funding for the league.
and
Is
yeah,
that going to the athletes or to grow the league? Like to
yeah.
pay the athletes more, or to pay more athletes, or to
So
grow the league?
we're trying to do as much as possible. So next year is really focusing on growth. So I'm gonna try and keep it. So this year we had about 65% of our budget was going towards the athletes. Next year is gonna drop down to about 30%. And the years after we're gonna be doing it about 50 to 50. But
So,
we're
so
still increasing the total amount of money we're giving. So this year
got
we gave $800 per event. Next year it's gonna be about probably about 1,200 to 1,700 per event.
got you. So
Which,
in no way, you're not taking away from them. You're
no, we're
actually
still
giving
giving
more,
more. Yeah.
but you're just planning to make more.
Yeah. I'm just planning to make more and
Gotcha.
reinvest more because that's a big thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wanted to clear that up so they're not like, whoa, wait, what? He's
No,
decreasing. No,
exactly. So we're just trying
you're
to
actually
make the pie
getting
bigger.
more. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we're getting more, so you'll get more, but it's less of the whole total percentage.
Pie. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, don't worry. We're still, we're trying to increase. But the big thing for us is like, honestly, I don't think that the CTFL at this point is going to be able to generate the kind of money that we need to be able to provide like athletes like a livable wage. Obviously,
Are
like
you?
track and field doesn't. Like I don't think at this point the CTFL can kind of like generate enough revenue in order to kind of provide athletes like a livable wage. But what we can do is we're trying to create a really big platform, right? Like this is what we're all about.
Mm,
And through that, like we're trying to work with athletes, individual athletes, to get them sponsorships. Like honestly, like we're gonna be adding probably about $10,000 to the prize pot this year. And this year was only 8K. So like, we're adding a lot of money to
right.
comparatively to
So
last season, like we're more than doubling it. But like the big plan for us is like how can we generate like $30,000 worth of like basically product for individual athletes to get sponsorships that are worth like $5,000 each, right? Like if we can create like a media system that like here, look at this, like you have all these athletes that are now getting paid because of the CTFL. Like we're giving them like say $15,000 in prize funding, but they're generating like the top athletes are generating like $30,000 because of the CTFL on sponsorships.
right,
So
you're actually you're introducing the athletes to more brands. Creating. Wow, that's major. That's major because I'm on a track club myself or a track team.
yeah,
Uh, so we rock with whoever my coach rock with, whoever is sponsoring the team. So now companies have the potential to actually invest in teams and connect with athletes and expose them to man, because that's what companies want already. They just there's no networks for track and field for you to see who you want or see how these athletes are competing or all
yeah,
of that. So now you've already created the opportunity for them to compete, for us to watch them. And now on that platform, more sponsorships can actually, man, major. That's major.
thanks.
Thank you for taking a second to hop on this podcast with me, man. I appreciate you giving me all the insight on what's going on with the league. As a fan, as an athlete myself, I definitely see and I see the opportunities that you've created for the sport of track and field for athletes, for other people, to get involved as well. You got GMs. This whole thing is major. We got the fastest race on Canadian soil this year. We got some personal bests. We got high school athletes. You're giving high school athletes the opportunity to compete in a league. Like this whole thing is major. So again, I just want to say, first off, thank you for working with us and speaking with me. But congratulations on everything you created. I'm a big fan. Big fan. I'm definitely going to continue to follow the sport, follow your league, be involved in as much as I can. It's major, man. It's major.
Thank you.
You are truly changing the pace of track and field.
I was gonna try and get that in there too.
Yeah, I got you. um, but yeah, man. Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
No, I
What's
mean,
actually, I got you. What is the last thing you want? What's the main thing you want people to know about the CTFL? What's the main thing you want them to understand?
I guess the main thing that I want people to understand with the CTFL is that like I think it's a collective effort, and I've learned that throughout this time period of working with all these athletes and with coaches and everybody, like even photographers and stuff. Like everybody wants to see the sport grow. Everybody kind of like is just dying for it, like through like Olympians to even like the smallest of athletes that come up and tell me like, hey, like thank you, and like I want to join the CTFL when I'm older, and all like we have little kids that like will come up to me, will recognize other athletes, which is also pretty sick. Like they get like their autographs and stuff. But like it's just amazing to kind of see it all kind of come together. And I hope people understand that like what we're doing is really trying to make this like fictional kind of like pie like bigger. Like we're not trying to like take away anything from the sport. We're trying to build it back better, right? Like we want to see it better. We want to see the athletes get paid what they deserve. We want to see, us on television and stuff. I don't want to see WWE. I want to see like track and
Mm,
field being played on ESPN. You know what I mean? So like we're really trying to focus on that, and just try and build the sport up, and help everybody along with it, like athletes, coaches, photographers, like everybody who does it, for less than they should be. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to go up as quickly as we possibly can in order to help as many people. So yeah.
wow. Wow. Well, you truly are impacting lives, growing this fictional pie that we do have for track and field. Um, definitely not taken away. Like you've literally given athletes the opportunity. And that's the main thing. Give athletes that are already training, already wanting to do this, the opportunity to, and let them show the world on this platform what they can do. So
Thank
it's
you.
been major, man. Again,
Actually, I want to give you one other piece. There was the nicest thing anybody, like there was a lot of like celebration and stuff, but like the nicest thing that anybody said to me this year was like basically like the CTFL gave them a reason to join back this, like join the sport like again, like rejoin the sport, which was
yeah.
like the bit, like honestly, if I lost money, like didn't even matter. Like that was the nicest thing. It made it all worth it. Like we had somebody come out of retirement at like a very early age, because like post collegiately there was nothing, right? Like there's nothing. You don't do anything after you're done like university. Like you're done
What's my
representing
saying?
school.
What's
Yeah,
what I keep saying?
yeah,
You get
exactly.
you go nowhere. And now somebody literally told you like one, you inspired me to get back training because it's a brutal sport. You're literally running till you pass out. Like I was seeing the light earlier today. Like yesterday I was passing out at the hills,
Yeah,
throwing
me
up.
too.
But you're legit pushing yourself to the edge to get nothing, to go nowhere. And so a lot of people, after they graduate high school or college, they retire early, and you're still
There's
early
nothing
in the
else.
sense of what you can actually do. I truly believe there's been a lot of people in track and field that have retired early for themselves because they didn't have the opportunity to compete. It's costing them so much. They don't even get on a team. They're not in an environment. They don't have a village that's inspiring them to
Yeah.
train. Like there's a lot that athletes don't have that you've given them in this 1 year, and this thing is still growing. So it's huge, man.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah. Thanks for
Major.
having me on. This was super fun to do this. All hopefully we can do it again next year and stuff. And I get to see all the progress that we made throughout like the season. So a lot of big upgrades next year. I'm super excited.
Definitely. Well, we would love to have you. We'd love to continue to check in with the league and follow, the CTFL itself. So it's been a pleasure from I'm having flashbacks from the first conversation of
In Montreal and
what,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, but just it was just getting started, and it was off to a rough start, and now look what you created. It was already on the path to being major, but it's truly just been game changing. You're changing the pace,
Thank you.
changing the pace, man. So again, it's been a pleasure to have you. I'm gonna definitely continue to follow the league, and I'm gonna cop some merch when it drops. So Trackletics fam, make sure y'all cop some merch when it drops. I'm probably gonna cop me a hoodie like that. I need me a t-shirt too to train in too,
We got
So
those two. Oh my God, I haven't even released the best t-shirt. It looks so good.
cool. I want me one of them. I'm gonna take your word for it. I want one. I want one of those. I'm gonna get me a hoodie and a t-shirt. So Trackletics fan, make sure y'all support the league, follow the league, subscribe to the league, support these athletes that are literally pushing themselves so we pass out at practice, chasing their dreams. Like it's been a major thing, what he's created so far, but he's truly impacting the lives of a lot of athletes, and he's giving more athletes the opportunity next year. So we got a draft coming up, some more trades. It's a lot of things going on. So make sure you stay tuned, you follow the league, find yourself your favorite team, your favorite athlete, all of that. We now have that for the sport of track and field. Put down the football jersey, the basketball jerseys, the football caps, basketball caps. Get you some track gear.
Yeah.
All right. That's how we gonna end this. But again, thank you, man. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
You enjoy your day, man.
You too. Have a good one, Samar.